Well, I have finished editing the first video with the new microphone setup, and I was pleasantly surprised at the outcome. So now I'm trying all sorts of new things, like recording without a safety net. Sorry for that interruption. Suki was making sure our property stayed safe, as is her job. So good for her, though she's a bit aggressive in the in the act. And I apologize if I keep looking past the camera. I have the camera's back facing a window that's kind of providing a reflection, which is helpful for making sure I'm framed properly, but it is also distracting because I'm always looking at it instead of the camera lens. Anyways, hi, it is me, recording without the laptop, recording without the snowball microphone sitting here, recording just with microphones. Now, I'm still using two because safety first, all that kind of stuff. But today I will be drinking Joker's Wit by Boulevard. It is a double wit beer, which sounds really cool. So, I like wit beers in general. Wit beers are great beers. While they might be more traditionally actually common to summer, they're a light wheat beer with orange and some other spices to them. I have always appreciated wit beers more, or it seems like they come to my mind more in the winter. And it might be their subtle spicing. They're a nice break from some of the darker, stronger, heavier beers that are more common in the winter, while still having that orange peel or curacao orange and other spices that are more common in winter beers. So I've always appreciated them in that way. And then when I saw a double wit beer, that caught my attention. Boulevard's a great brand. They make super quality beers, especially Belgian-style beers. And a double wit beer is not something I'd ever even heard of before. Double is going to be the same as Imperial, so it's going to be a higher ABV. And this one is, in fact, 7.4. So I think being that it's not 8, it doesn't count as Imperial, or it wouldn't be an Imperial. It's a high ABV for the style, right? So it is a double wit beer. And to the nose, definitely that orange peel. Well, and not just orange peel, actually, it is orange. It is a sweet orange, as well as some herbal notes. I am picking up fireplace smokiness because we have a chimney just 40 feet that way, which is down to the wood stove, which we have been using primarily to heat our house this year. And so it is not spewing out. It's actually burning quite efficiently at the moment, but there's some smoke in the atmosphere. I will try not to let that color my experience here. Now, 7.4% doesn't really get into the strongly boozy category. It's high for the style, but it's not particularly high for beer in general. And as a result of that, this beer doesn't really carry much booziness to the nose. I'm going to expect the higher ABV to perhaps carry a little more flavor, a little bit of warmth, and maybe more of a subtle fortifying characteristic rather than a boozy kick. This is a very softly flavored beer, which is good for a wit beer. Wheat beers in general, a characteristic of the wheat beer is that there are proteins in the wheat grain, that in the wheat mash, that remain in the suspension and result in usually a very white head, sometimes a cloudy appearance, though this is not super cloudy, and also a general softening of the beer. You'll see that in Hefeweizens, you'll see that in other wheat beers in general. And this has that kind of soft mouthfeel, not quite the same as an oatmeal stout, but it is a similar result. Or oatmeal stout, oatmeal beers. Yes, a lot of oatmeal beers are oatmeal stouts, but what oatmeal brings to a beer is comparable to what wheat brings to the beer. Similar, but different. And so there is that softness. There's also a very nice effervescence that is strong enough. It plays its own part in the flavor profile. So it, on the one hand, it kind of starts like a watered down orange juice, which might not seem like the most pleasant thing, but it is. It's a good thing. It is a beer made with orange. There is a little bit of herbal. I'm not sure I could pick out specific characteristics of the herbs involved here, but there is some herbaceousness to it. There's the kind of the soft orange juice. Then there's this really nice effervescent. It almost plays the role of kind of a bitterness or a mid-drink palate cleanser, but it's not bitter. It's bubbly on your tongue and in your upper palate. And then you get this herbal note, and then you get this really nice Belgian funk, which is traditional to wit beers. Result of the yeasts they use, traditional to that style. And I'm not really picking up a high alcohol taste either, which once again, 7.5%. That's not particularly high for beers, though it is high for this style. Overall, this is a very pleasant beer. It's very drinkable. I would say that the extra alcohol brings a weight to the beer, makes it just a little bit heavier feeling than maybe Wit Rascal by Avery or one of the other excellent wit beers out there. And you appreciate that. Oh, and actually, okay, now there is some warmth kind of in my retro breathing, my breathing back. There's a little bit of warmth coming back up, and I'm going to guess that's a result of the alcohol. And it's really pleasant, actually. It definitely tells you, yeah, this is stronger than your average wit beer. I like it. It's a good beer. I would give this a 2 stars out of 3. 2 stars out of 3. It's a good beer. If you see it on the shelves, get it. If you like wit beers, get it. I would say it actually reminds me a little bit of a light Duvel, the strong blonde ales of Belgium. Kind of a light Duvel. So if you want that lightly malty, spiced kind of kick of a beer, but without the kick, this would be a really good alternative, if you can find it. I'd imagine typically you might be able to find Duvel more easily than you could find the wit, the Joker's wit. I need to remember what this is. I don't have it on the table in front of me, and I'm working with a pretty narrow field. I might record the next video a little fuller frame. Anyways, this is me, Matthew. I have been drinking and definitely enjoying Joker's Wit by Boulevard Brewing, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.